Some may think of spring as a season of renewal, but for me, fall might be the most invigorating time of year. Back to school season means new students, new lessons, and new opportunities to learn about our township. In this episode of Living in Bloomfield, we check in with youth mentoring, look back at a cultural celebration on our high school campus, and mark a milestone with lifelong learners at Senior Services. Learn all about living in Bloomfield. This fall, you certainly expected to see school buses on the road, but I bet you didn't expect to see this. The Bloomfield Township Fire Department received this brand new custom-made vehicle in early September. The previous SOAR, that's Special Operations and Rescue, has been replaced with this new CEPFIN Squad Heavy Rescue. Cost for the vehicle was $806,000, with $500,000 funded by the state of Michigan. This vehicle was specially made in an out-of-state facility before being delivered to Station Number 1 on September 11th. It will provide rescue operations to the community for decades to come. In our next segment, we're going to learn about the fire department's strong bonds and mentorship, which ensure that every generation of firefighters are prepared and supported to serve their community.
My name is Charles Dagger. I've been here for 2.5 years. I'm a firefighter paramedic.
I'm Cole Heidenberg. I started an internship after my school year as a fire hydrant tech.
So I started off after high school, wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I went and worked for a general contractor for a few years. And then after that, I joined the Navy. I was in the Navy for 4.5 years. I served in Bahrain, and then I served for 1.5 years in Cuba. Got out, was going to school for about 1.5 years, fell into firefighting. I remember a school counselor once mentioned it to me as a possible career option. Started looking into that, went to EMT, did fire academy at OCC, and then I got hired at Bloomfield Township Fire Department.
From the day I was born, I've never wanted a desk job. I never wanted anything that was just gonna be the same thing every day. In 2nd grade, this fire department actually came to our school just to do a fire week. It drew me right in. I was so fascinated by everything and thought it was the coolest thing. My parents were like, hey, you always talk about firefighting, why don't you look into that?
I kind of fell in love with the atmosphere, the culture here. Here I think we try to really put an emphasis on respecting lieutenants and the rank structure and just the closeness of the guys. We all eat dinner together. We all hang out outside of work, so those definitely kind of natural fits for people who are coming out of the military. It's a pretty good mix right now. We definitely have a lot of young people currently. We've hired a lot of people in the past 2 years since I've been hired. I think I have 10 people under me right now, and I've only been here for 2.5 years, but we also have a lot of senior guys that have a lot of knowledge to pass on to us. In the fire service, I think it's especially important to have senior guys that can pass on that knowledge, because until you've been in the situation and seen the different things that we have to deal with, it's hard to know for a young guy how to respond to it. Eventually we're going to be in that situation. We're going to have to make those decisions. It's invaluable, the knowledge they pass on.
I really enjoyed watching the things that they're fluent in. So watching them go from just, relaxing and sitting in a chair to doing some crazy vehicle extrication. They all know what to do and exactly what process they're looking for. It really helps because some of the veterans, they think differently, they've learned differently. So meeting a young guy who knew what he was doing and was able to teach me the ways of the fire department was really helpful.
It's so important to pick the brain of the people that came before you. The knowledge they've gathered over a 20+ year career in the fire service, it's super important. I think it's very important to mentor younger guys that are coming up underneath you. So I think the more we mentor young people, teach them the importance of these jobs, blue-collar jobs, fire service, any type of service job, the better we'll be as a society.
He showed me what firefighting and being a paramedic was like. I know that I can always think back to what he would do and treat him like a good mentor to me.
Strong mentors and leadership are essential to fostering learning and growth no matter what field you're in. But perhaps nowhere is it more clear than in public schooling. This school year brings a new educational leader with Bloomfield Hills Schools' new superintendent, Rick West. Our police chief, James Gallagher, caught up with Rick on community policing. Their discussion provides a framework for National Safe Schools Week in Bloomfield Hills Schools. You can view their conversation in full on BCTV cable channels or our YouTube channel. I'm here now in the auditorium at Bloomfield Hills High School. At this venue, students act, sing, dance, and work behind the scenes creating props, costumes, or running tech for live stage productions. Students were on hand to help facilitate a tremendous visiting artist performance in September, all the way from Taiwan. The cultural event celebrated Taiwan's 113th National Day with the Taiwan Acrobatic Troupe. Take a look.
We are bringing in an amazing acrobatic troupe. And they are traveling all the way from Taiwan to Michigan to present it to us a beautiful presentation to introduce Taiwan's very rich culture.
We are celebrating the 113th National Day of the Republic of China from Taiwan. And we have an amazing troupe here today of acrobats, and they're beautiful and they're amazing. Feathers that are balancing and throwing things on your head. I can't even imagine doing what they did.
They are from the National Taiwan College of Performing Art. They combined all the Taiwanese different culture together. I always think want to see how they tell the Taiwan story. Michigan is very special because our Taiwanese American community is vibrant here.
They are one of our main allies and an important structure. So the fact that we're building an even better Michigan connection, with the governor going to Taiwan twice and building the connections, it is amazing because we'll get the influx of that culture here as well.
Michigan has so much to offer. It's an automotive city, so everybody come into here. You know, if you are Taiwanese, we are very well educated, and everybody trying to come here to pursue their dream.
Taiwan is an immigrant country, so does the United States. We are perfect natural allies. Now we're working together to make the next generation more competitive. I think now more and more people want to know about Taiwan, want to make a friend with Taiwan, and also the culture seems the best way to connect people together.
For an event like this, people just so anxious, eager to participate. I live in Bloomfield for almost 40 years, and all my 3 kids graduate, so I know Bloomfield so well.
Having something like this here is a true honor. It's something that of all the places they could have picked in Michigan, they chose Bloomfield Hills High School. What I loved about growing up here is you truly did learn about other cultures. So when you grow up with diversity, it's normal. And you see what you have in common with each other instead of what your differences are.
I'm considered the first generation of the immigrant. Our kids who are the second generation, they already grow up and they have their kids too. It is very important for us to pass along the heritage of all of the Taiwan's cultures, such a vibrant culture that our children should really understand, and to inspire their interest to trying to get to know more about where they're coming from, the country, the land, the motherland that where their parents coming from.
It's important to have cultural acts such as what we saw today, because the more we learn about all the different cultures, the more we can accept and understand each other. When you see intolerance, it's usually misunderstanding or frankly, ignorance. So this is a chance to build that education about a culture, and if we can do that, then people will obviously have a better future together.
Giving our youth chances to learn and discover is one of the most essential aspects of building our future together. Another exciting growth opportunity that occurred over the summer was the Regional Youth Academy, hosted by the police departments of Bloomfield Township, Birmingham, Auburn Hills, and the City of Rochester. Over the course of 4 days, students gained hands-on experience and an understanding of what it takes to serve their community with the police department. And this year, a media component was added, with BCTV hosting a documentary workshop and local media talking about their approach to covering public safety.
Why did you write? Because I'm heavily intoxicated.
kicking off our Regional Youth Academy. Bloomfield Township Police Department, Birmingham Police Department, Auburn Hills Police Department, and the City of Rochester Police Department. We get together and we host what's basically a camp. High school age students, boys and girls, we get them in here and we show them just a quick preview and glimpse of what we do as police officers every day and some of the more exciting things that we get to do in our job. The biggest thing is it shocks me year after year seeing these kids come out who are interested in what we do, whether they want to be police officers or not, whether they have any police background in their family. Getting the interest is shocking to me, and it's really keeps me optimistic that these kids are wondering what we're doing, they want to learn about what we're doing, and they want to be a small part of it.
Good afternoon. My name is Seamus Phillips, Officer Seamus Phillips.
I mean, I've always been kind of interested and drawn to something like law enforcement, federal, something like that, or maybe military. It keeps me and my community safe, my family, and I think that's, you know, important for everybody.
I'm really interested in like true crime and overall interested in law enforcement. So I just wanted to get some experience with hands-on things and see if it's something I really wanted to look forward going into so I could have like that experience.
Then we got into talking about some traffic stops, and that was super fun. Got to pull some people over, got to chase somebody down. That was pretty fun.
My favorite aspect so far is definitely the traffic stops and stuff. My person who I was pulling over, she got out of the car and I asked her to get back in the car. It looked like she was going to go back in. She ended up shutting the door and running off, and I immediately took off running after her. And I ended up catching her and placing her under arrest. I really like doing the CPR and the tourniquets. It's definitely one of the things that I found most important about it.
Stop the Bleed was something new and something different, so I was a little uneasy going through that, but learning about it, I got more knowledge about it, and I feel confident that I am able now to do a tourniquet.
We're always looking for ways to interact with our youth and get them engaged. It allows youth an in-depth look at law enforcement from our perspective and kind of gives them a hands-on experience. It bridges the gap between law enforcement and the youth, brings us together.
I feel like policing is important, obviously to ensure public safety, but also, you know, just to give people hope. It's a really fun event. Looking forward to the rest of the week.
I think it's important, like for people my age and even younger, to get in touch with law enforcement and things like that. We only really have the internet and the news, but we don't see the truth and what's actually being provided until you actually talk to those people.
It's been really important to me because before I've always kind of been nervous to talk to cops because, you know, slip up, say the wrong thing, maybe they take you to jail, you don't know what's gonna happen because I don't know cops like that. But now speaking to more cops and getting to know them more, they're people like us, you know, they have families, they have everyone. They're not just trying to take you to jail because they want to meet some quota. They want to actually see what's wrong and make sure that you're keeping yourself safe and other people safe.
All of the officers, cadets, everyone in this community, in this area have been so generous and nice, and I'm just so grateful that I saw this opportunity and took the opportunity to do this. I was stressed because I didn't know what I wanted to do in college, and now I know I want to become a police officer.
Man, this is a great camp, and I'm really happy to be here. I'd like to thank everyone that's involved in making this happen. It's been a great time so far, and I'm looking forward to the rest of this week.
Here at BCTV, community access television has been evolving, which means it's a broader look at what content is today and how it's produced. On September 25th, we proudly hosted a day of digital literacy workshops right here in our studio. Attendees learned the basics of documentary filmmaking, camera composition, Photoshop, and watched a live podcast recording. Following completion of key presentations, attendees qualified to produce their own shows here at BCTV. Interested in what you may have missed? You can always reach out to the cable department using the information below or drop by during our regular business hours to say hello. We're going to revisit the Regional Youth Academy. You want to know who produced the segment? If you're guessing the team here at the station, you're only half right.
So if you can't get there safely?
Everything was a positive. I would come in, add 9 a.m. They would pick out what I needed or what they thought I needed. I could make recommendations on what I thought I needed. Then we would go to the police station where the students would be doing their activities for the day. We would set up the cameras, set up microphones if needed for like interviews. Other days were focused just on filming, and some were a mix of both. At the end of the day, I always felt like I got something done and I did my part. When we were filming the drunk driving tests, I got to put on a pair of drunk goggles and take one of those little cars for a spin with the drunk goggles on, and that was really fun. I felt that I had a lot of freedom in what I chose to film. You know, I got to meet new people, everybody was nice. New experience, you know, I didn't feel like nervous or like a burden to, you know, speak up. Everybody just there for me. If you're interested in filming, TV production, anything like that, I would definitely recommend doing this workshop. It was just refreshing and very, very great and interactive experience. I was proud of my work, the filming, the editing. I think everybody did a great job on it, and I was so proud and happy with the final product, and it was great to show it to all the people. You see and hear people having these emotions, and you can't help but think, well, I made those emotions, like I caused those emotions. So that's a great experience and feeling to me.
Learning unfolds at all stages of life. Our Bloomfield Township Senior Center knows this and provides opportunities for the lifelong growth and learning of our residents. This summer, they held some significant celebrations. A new bench was dedicated in honor of Stephen Eskoff, Advisory Council Chairleader and mentor who had a pivotal role in establishing and growing the Senior Center. The center also celebrated their 15th anniversary as a department in the Bloomfield Township community. Take a look at the 15th anniversary celebration and what it means to have the Senior Center in our community.
I would like to welcome you, and we are so happy you're here to celebrate this very special moment in the history of senior services.
It's super important, and there's so many baby boomers and people aging right now. They need to be able to have a place they can go where they feel safe, where they feel comfortable, where they can have social time, where they can move their bodies, where they can get help with services like Meals on Wheels, and just be able to have the camaraderie and make new friends, you know, and just have some place to go. Especially if somebody loses a spouse, or, you know, they can come and they'll relate to other people that are here, you know. I've been blessed to have worked here for 13 years. The staff here are friendly, you know, like, it is just a beautiful place. I can't say any more. And people should come check it out if they haven't yet. It's a little gem that people don't know about.
If you look at other communities, they really look to this senior center as the sort of the benchmark, the beacon for what other communities can have as senior centers. In fact, West Bloomfield Township, our neighbor, is looking at what their next senior center is, and they look to Christine and her team in this facility to be that benchmark.
And I think the other thing that really gives me great joy is that people, when they talk to me anywhere, either here or out in the community, say, the people at the Senior Center are so nice. They just make you feel welcome, and like, that's our goal, but to hear people like that's our reputation in the community, that's priceless.
Our last stop takes us to the Birmingham Bloomfield Arts Center, where the Birmingham Bloomfield Cultural Arts Committee hosted its 29th annual Cultural Arts Awards in mid-September. We caught up with one of the committee chairs and this year's award recipients to learn more about this celebration and the impact for honorees of a hometown recognition.
The Cultural Arts Award is for a person in the Birmingham Bloomfield area who has made significant contribution to the arts in our community. And they can be in the visual arts, in the performing arts, the literary arts. We started this award in 1997. It was the brainchild of the late Maggie Allesey, who was an active member of our board She thought we had a lot of wonderful people in the community that should be recognized. Anyone can nominate someone. The nominations are open for a period of weeks, and then we invite people to serve on a jury. And the jury makes the selection based on the things that they study from a packet that's provided from the nominations. The jury really liked Hetty Blatt's work and the impact that she's had on students and young people, setting them up to go forward with a love of the arts.
I have always been an art supporter. As Fine Arts Director for Troy School District, where I had to advocate for all of our arts programs, continuing after retiring at Oakland Schools, where I became the Fine Arts Consultant, also advocating and perpetuating the arts. Exposure to the arts are really important, whether it's a field trip to the DIA, to the DSO. How do you know what you're good at if you've never been exposed to it? The arts, in some cases, are the only reason kids come to school, especially high school kids. They might not be interested, but sometimes you just snap that spark.
A number of years ago, the jury was really conflicted because there were two people that they really wanted to give an award to. And so they conceived the idea of the Special Lifetime Achievement Award, which is often given to someone who's been active for a long time. Gary Wasserman is widely admired as a successful businessman whose passion is the arts. He was pretty much the savior of the Thanksgiving parade when it was maybe going to die.
I have a passion for cities. I also have a passion for color and theatricality. My parade experience, which was my first really big foray into some kind of a public institution, it was completely broken. I was essentially the art director. And it is when I have a role in the product itself that I become engaged. I am not a passive supporter. You get all of me with the package.
The Village of Beverly Hills is being recognized for their support through the Parks and Recreation Department of a kaleidoscope of artistic activities.
It's all trying to provide the kinds of things that make a community unique and special. Having the storybook trail, doing the DIA Inside Out, taking advantage of the concerts in the park, the jazz in the park, movies in the park.
We recognize that it's very important to offer a variety of arts activities to attract a wide range of ages and interests to our parks, and so we are constantly seeking out different opportunities that would serve that purpose.
Council has worked with Janice Hausman on the Sculpture in the Parks initiative. That's something that she really breathed life into on her own after seeing something similar in another community and worked hard to make it happen. And now we've got a lot more sculpture that is available throughout our community.
I think all of us on the Parks and Rec Board and associated with the Village were very thrilled to be recognized for the work that we've done.
Many of these people have regional, national, international recognition, but there's just nothing like being recognized by your hometown, and they find it very touching.
I grew up in Birmingham. I've done things in New York and in other big cities, but they don't need me. And here, I feel like I actually do something that's worthwhile.
It's really the frosting on the cake. And I knew I was going to be retiring, so it was really the culmination of years and years of work.
It gives us the opportunity to highlight the arts in the community, to underscore the importance of them in our quality of life. And because who wants to live someplace where there's no good artistic things going on?
It makes a statement about the kind of place we are. All of the Parks Board are volunteers and work very hard. It's gratifying to hear that it's appreciated and recognized.
It's just a real feel-good event. The community comes together. It's a feel-good event.
That's all the time we have today to learn about the community around us, but there's always more to discover. Join us next time on Living in Bloomfield.